As famed dungeon master Renee Zellweger once said, when one of her players was describing their actions, "Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at I cast Fireball. You had me at I cast Fireball." Hey, and welcome to Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favorite forms of escapism, alcohol and Dungeons and Dragons. Did a little switcheroo in the opening there. Some viewer and audience feedback. Ben, we missed when you just did quotes and you didn't sing. So
I loved the breathlessness. That was very, very breathy. It was great.
It's one of my better. That's Jerry Maguire.
Oh, that's Jerry Maguire. You had me at hello. Yeah, I should have known that.
You had me at like cast Fireball.
It doesn't feel like it's a Jerry Maguire quote. I don't know what it is.
Show me the platinum.
Yeah, I think it's because I haven't seen that film since like 1997, which I believe is when it came out.
Oh yeah, it's one and done. Like it's a masterpiece. Don't go back to it.
Dude, I've not heard anyone else ever talk about Jerry Maguire again. So good job.
Relevant and topical. If you've never seen the show before, we discuss old Tom Cruise movies while drinking beers. Hence why we have all these dice here. No, we are a Dungeons & Dragons actual play live stream show where we play in a world inspired by Irish mythology, and we build that world based on the drinks and brews we have at the table while playing. So we progressively get drunker and then forget all the things we set up last episode. And the main plot is the world is ending, so who knows if these punks can solve it. Speaking of a drinking game, which this is, in chat, if you're drinking something, let us know. Just comment below. We'll try weave it in as a place or an NPC or even just kind of inspiration for an adventure. And us, you might notice it's just the core three. 2 friends and Ben. That's what we're playing this week.
We're not friends with Ben.
No, me and Keelan are. We are tight-knit. Ben, you are an acquaintance.
Yes, a co-worker maybe, colleague. I wouldn't go that far.
I know Ben through Lucy, like that's how I feel about it.
of all the people at the table, we collectively probably go back the furthest. Just as a little peek behind our friendship, because you guys would have known Wes and Gav, obviously, but I was kind of the linchpin there. Whereas we go back all the way back to those MUN days. Actually, beforehand, but it was just neat that we got to wear suits.
There's like 15 to 16 years of friendship here, which means it's going to be really hard to not be really mean to each other. I think it's maybe not be.
Speaking of drinks, what are we drinking? I can start, so it's not catching you off guard. I have something from Kirkstall Brewery, and I thought Kirkstall was a nice little name, but it's called Perpetuous. Perpetuous. Yeah, that's how that's how it's spelled and said. Perpetuous. Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
Perpetuous. It's a session hazy session IPA. Keelan, what are you drinking? What have you brought to the stream today?
I think I drank it on the stream before actually, but it is a Hopefully leg swap. It's a raspberry lime sour. Got the weird picture of the girl in the chair.
That's cool.
It's delicious, as always. I have some other drinks here, a Vocation Twisted Sour, which I think I've also drank on the stream before, delicious. And a new Kinnegar, or at least new to me, I think, a Sour Lime Goes, So.
Yeah, that's part of they have a Numbers Brewer series. So you obviously have number 9. They're up to number 11 or 12 maybe, but if you're in Ireland or if you have access to Kinnegar, definitely recommend picking up anything that has numbers on it. Grab them. It's a different brew each time, so we can't vouch for numbers that aren't number 9. But so far, so good.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. And I was an old school favorite of what was it called? I can't remember.
Skinny
No, the Little Rick. No, it was a lime. Another lime sour, anyway.
Oh yes, yeah. Little Alkin or Alkin's Tart or something.
No, sure. Anyway. We'll get there.
Yeah, Lucy, what are you drinking? What have you brought to the table?
I'm drinking gin and tonic, but I got nice gin this time. Well, at least not Gordon's gin, which is the only gin. But I'm drinking this Halfpenny rhubarb gin.
Halfpenny?
Yeah, Halfpenny. So it's pink so far, which is thrilling. But
Nice.
I've also remembered we were here on prepping, so I shouldn't have done this. I have no idea where my phone is, and that's where I have all of my dice and all of my stats. So you just speak away.
You run get that, and we'll cover it for you. Don't worry.
She made me worry that I had lost my phone, but I hadn't.
I mean, I don't need a phone.
It's right here.
No?
It's fine. It's fine.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's try to stream my panic there. You will have seen.
Couple of announcements, and this one's an awkward one. Not because of the content, but because I forgot to do the thing I said I'd do. I said I'd go to our good friend Wes. You might know him. He's sometimes on the show as a special guest. To get his Movember link, because he's grown a tash for Movember and for kind of mental health awareness and men's health and prostate cancer. So I think he's in the chat right now. If you want to help support Wes and Arlington get hairier, specifically just above his lip, toss him a couple of shekels. Send some coins his way. Also, you're probably supporting so many Movember people, so don't worry if you can't. But if you've yet to pick a person, that special Movember donation person, maybe consider our good friend Wes. He needs all the help he can get as a person, So throw a little love his way. I haven't, but you can. Anyway, onwards. He's not here this week, so it means he's not going to interrupt the Lucy announcement. Lucy, there's something that the audience should know about. It's kind of the better way to enjoy the show, right?
Yeah, it's to turn off what you're doing right now, and stop consuming your podcast visually and consume it as a podcast, which is on every podcast app out there. Find Homebrew Quest. It's back. I think we're on episode 14 at the moment. So yeah, and you can go and listen to it there. Much easier to consume, maybe. Yeah, find it everywhere.
I'm trying this thing where I split up my announcements so they're not all at the start. So if I don't tell you about Dakota Irish at the break, hopefully you've heard enough about them in the past. But I will try my best to give you that sweet promo code. It should also be on our overlay as well. But that's going to be my little break, so it's not awkwardly going, right, I guess we're done for 15 minutes. But before we start the show, a huge thank you to our tech team. We know them as the technomancers behind Homebrew. We don't learn their names. But they are lovely people. It's our good friend Paul. Paul is doing the ones and zeros behind the stream. He's the one who gives this show life. And we've got a new cool nifty setup. So if there's any tech glitches, let us know. If there's any tech successes, doubly let us know. And you can let us know at Homebrew Quest across all the usual social channels. Or if it's like a particularly, Dear Aunt, Agony Aunt kind of thing, you can email us. rollforhomebrew@gmail.com is our email address. Now, without further ado, grab yourself a drink, pull up a chair as we dive into a world where anything is possible, but not always probable. Welcome back to the realm of Hibernia. And imagine, if you will, a land of pure elemental destruction, ruled by 3 vicious and vengeful spirits. They stalk the world through shadow, through chaos, through madness, with all before them forced to bend the knee or be wiped out in their merciless rule. They hold a grip over this land, not through governance or structure, but each exert dominion over other life through sheer power. Together, these 3 are invincible, and even in part, they border on immortal. Life's only chance at survival is splintering the spiritual connection each hold upon the world, and in doing so, tearing the realms themselves asunder, for at least a part, and trapped in the in-between. Their destruction is limited. But that was then, and this is now, where we find 3 sexy adventurers making their way from a hidden tavern in the docklands of Draíocht, about to depart on their latest adventure. Huck, if you wouldn't mind just catching, not for me, I know what's going on, but for the audience, fill them in on what's been happening in the last session or so, any pertinent information they might need to know.
Yeah, James, a lot happened in the last episode for the focus of the recap, but basically, when we started off, there was a jailbreak happening. We had just walked into a prison and spotted a jailbreak happening. When we were going to have a jailbreak ourselves, that was kind of part of our plan. So as far as Huck's concerned, that's a win, like 100% success. Probably jailbreaking is a very easy thing to do. We got them out. we very conveniently met up with the people we needed to meet up with, which is Sour Sue's, an old homebrew favorite, and the Abbey de Vauclair and Lamb Falon. I don't know if they have much other crew with them, but yeah, them anyway. They're the main parts. We all had a big chat, chinwag and a drink, and tried to formulate our basic plans. So, along with the pirates, there's a couple of different options. We're going to try to teleport to where the dwarves are, which is new and exciting. We haven't encountered many dwarves in Homebrew. I believe they're in a place called Sleeve Gem. That's one option. There's a series of people we need to look at. This is for the Clockwork Tangerine thing. We're going to look at the roads and see how Rue is tied into that, and see if the roads have anything to do with this evil plan of Rue. The other options are we found out that Arlington, when he was a bugbear, hit his head off a potentially godlike mythical item, and that might be where his character comes from. That's exciting, but it's something that we can go and see in Baha Glen. That's what Abbey de Vauclair says, and that's an important item to go and look at. It's a stone of some sort, or a crystal. But the plan was maybe meet them in 2 weeks after we go to Sleeve Gem. Now, getting to Sleeve Gem, that's a whole thing. Best way to do it is to teleport. We can teleport from the Fianna, House of the Fianna, but it's probably under guard. There's a lot of people looking in on there. The Fianna are currently all criminals, as far as the state is concerned. The other teleporting place is where the state is most concerned, which is the High Council's chambers. So we could go that way, less guards, but more uncertainty as to how it goes. And then what were the other options? There was talk of maybe going to see Huck's father, Puck, King Puck, and going into the Feywild or the other world to see him. But we only have about a month, as far as we can figure, before the evil plan happens, and Huck lost 2 months the last time he went into the other world for a day. So it's it's a gamble. I'm not against the gamble, but it's a gamble. I think those are all so we have a lot of options. Really, it's an ideal time for Wes and Rian not to be here, so that Lucy and myself can just make decisions. I called everyone by their name except for Gav. He's Rian.
He only exists within the walls of this stream as his character. Never breaks character. He's going around right now in the streets of Dublin, just in a French, pulling off that French accent.
I'm not even sure if I've ever even met Gav. I know I've met Rian, but yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. There was a drink. There was drinking. We're possibly a bit hungover now. I don't know if we're the night of or the day after.
Yeah, let's say it's the day after. I think, if I remember correctly, I did a little bit of a, camera pulls back, the ships sail off towards Dunmore and their destination, and you're left here in the burning embers of the distillery district of Draíocht. The whole city is, compared to the magic and beauty and awe you might have felt sailing into the city, not only, maybe 5 days previous with these twinkly lights and tree foliage above and this wonderful music in the air, it's like Draíocht the morning after. You're seeing it for the gritty beauty it really is, because it's been sort of trapped in an endless evening and it has seen better days.
So has the endless evening stopped? Is there actual daybreak?
No, it's still evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting one of those really annoying, when you start feeling hungover while it's still night. You're like, oh no. Despite. Yeah. But I think you all had a long rest, and if you didn't, let's say you did, just so you're at a clean slate and a clean character sheet. And from exactly like you said, Huck, the day and the adventure and what happens next is all in your hands, the two of you. Arlington goes, oh, I am feeling a little hungover actually, so maybe I'll just, if I'm silent, I'm trying not to vomit in my mask.
All right there, buddy. What was that voice? There you go. Sorry, I'm trying a new setup, and also sitting in a weird way, and the screen that you guys are on is slightly quite a lot above me. So I really do look like I'm looking up to both of you the whole time, as if I'm in some kind of hole.
I assumed you were watching some Korean TV with subtitles just over on top of the webcam.
I mean, I'm not quite there yet, but yeah.
It works for the overlay though, because we are like a Brady Bunch above.
True, yeah.
So we're all
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
hello
just
down there.
I can give you a
fist bump. Yeah.
Out of character. Keelan, what way should we destroy Rian and Arlington? Or also, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can't disagree. They're not here. I mean, Rian's gone. Wes is here. You could choose to like dress him up. You know,
like, yeah, makeup
over, can't fight back. Maybe we need Wes to be all dressed up and act as a distraction for whatever plan that we have. Let's bank that as a plan.
Okay, that's good.
And
I
then
like
plan around it.
Yeah. So we use him maybe as like bait and yeah, just like general distracting. Okay, yeah, that's also good.
Yeah. It's good if he's bait and then he has to go and do a chat on his own. Ben has to handle that. Yeah. So that's worked for us. We can just sit back and the GM plays against himself. And as far as I know, everyone wants that in D&D podcasts. It's just the GM.
Yeah. Focus here for Ben number 1 and Ben number 562.
I honestly don't know what we can do, but the kind of main plan that we had was try to get to Sleeve Gem. There is a problem which I didn't mention, which is that we have a key. Do we have the key? Did Abbey de Vauclair give it to us? So
it's a good opportunity to figure out what you do and do not have from the characters who are and are not here. So Rian is now on a ship with Abbey de Vauclair, with the French Prince of Kildare, and with Lanfalon sailing. He's on the Atlantean, son of the sea, sailing towards Dune Moor. Rian, up until now, has been your party mule, so to speak. So whether you want to have taken stuff off him, we can say, of course, you have it or not. I think he had a bag of holding. But aside from just money that was in there, which I think you already got out of it, I don't think there was much else in that bag of holding.
Yeah,
big old bag of cash.
He has his valuable sword. Oh, I should have mentioned, yeah, I mean, for the fight, we'd need artifacts of the Tuatha De Danann, one of which is Fragarok, Rian's sword, which is like a god weapon, or potentially god-killing weapon. The other, I mean, then there's the stone I mentioned. There's a cauldron, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
A cauldron of the Dagda?
Cauldron.
Dagda's cauldron, yes.
Dagda's cauldron, yeah. You know, I'm doing it in Irish, so it's backwards.
So the question, right, is how we get from, if we go to Sleeve Gem now to get this roadmap, because the roadmap is like how my mom is going to smash the worlds together and kill everyone.
Potentially, yeah. That's
help. But then how do we get from there to there? Yeah. Or do we go and get the Stone of Destiny right away with Arlington?
Oh yeah, that's done. Well, I mean, they're going to meet us in 2 weeks. However long it takes us to get there, we don't have to be there for 2 weeks anyway. So we've got time. The question is whether or not we go into the Fianna, which is apparently heavily guarded, and try to use the teleport there, or go to the High Council, see what we can suss out. It's the danger of the unknown. So
that seems more fun.
It does seem more fun. Yeah. I mean, as far as Huck's concerned, the Boris na Fianna was not that heavily guarded. It surprised me when people were like, "Oh, we shouldn't go there. It's all guarded. All the guards are there." Last time we were there, it was easy. The guards are very pleasant. But I don't think it might have changed in the interim as well. And also, there's potentially information in the High Council. I can't remember. Sparklepuff, Abbey de Vauclair's sister.
Well, I don't mind. We could go to the Fianna one instead if you want. If that would be like.
No, let's go to the High Council. There's new stuff. We could confront Sparklepuff, who's definitely a mover and shaker. Or we could try to avoid that because we should be trying to be stealthy.
Ben, would anyone in that we would have been with last night, and maybe this is cheeky because you gave us a flashpoint, and I'm not wanting to use it on this, but I'm wondering, like, because we were talking to them about where this the portal is in the High Courts. Like, would they have given us, like, told us specifically, or no? That would be, you'd have to use the point to do that, right?
No.
We could use Wes's.
Yeah, here's Wes. He's not here.
Yeah, Wes wants to know, and he wants to use all of it. Yeah.
That's a fair question. Make a straight intelligence check. So just roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier. Not saving throw, just the modifier itself.
Yes.
Lucy understands.
Oh wait, sorry, what was that?
Roll some dice.
Yeah, sorry. I started saying, and he said that, and I'm like, wait, what? Did I not understand? Right, 13.
13. You know enough, or at least kind of enough to feel confident that what Huck was just saying, kind of let's go and suss it out, that you know that the High Council is accessible through the Grand Library of Draíocht. That's how kind of the general public would go seek an audience with the High Council. That high above the treetops, there is a bridge from the library to the chambers of the High Council. It's Parliament, or the Dáil, if you will. And that if you can find access there, like they do take public visits. So getting into the place mightn't be too much of a problem, but you might need some sort of cover story or that kind of thing. That's kind of all you know. You don't know exactly where the teleportation circle might be within the building. You know it's a big building, that it's definitely a couple of stories high, but that's about as much as that you would have picked up last night and pieced together from your time in Draíocht.
Okay, cool. Okay. So we know the library, right?
Oh yeah, we know how to get to the library. Oh yeah, the council we could go up all the way through the library, couldn't we? Because there's some kind of yeah. I was going to ask, and I might have to use Flashpoint for this kind of information, but is there a kind of like council police? As in, is there or even a rumored secret police or upper echelon? Even a rumor of one is all I really need.
Yeah, they're under Perpetuous Guard.
The Perpetuous Guard. Cool.
The Perpetuous Guard. You don't know if that's just like a double bluff, because maybe they're not Perpetuous. But the Perpetuous Guard.
Or Perpetuous.
Perpetuous,
yes.
Perpetuous Guard.
Yeah, they're guards that are in perpetuity.
They're less in number than the City Guard. So they're somewhat elite warriors that even one of them is quite a challenge for someone to kind of take on. Each member of the High Council has one Perpetuous Guard.
Interesting. Oh, so people know who they are. People have seen them.
Yeah, they're dressed like the High Council, but it's just Natalie Portman.
Cool.
So like almost like a ruse. It's like, okay. So like they're always beside the High Council. High Council's dressed in amazing makeup, full over the top, and then they're there and they're Natalie Portman.
Okay. Then I have an idea. There's this Perpetuous Guard. We could go to the High Council. We could pretend to be from the Perpetuous Guard. I can use prestidigitation or a minor illusion, as can you, to make some kind of badge. You're pretty arty, so you'd definitely be able to make it look right. But we don't know how the badge looks. But perhaps in the library, there would be some kind of history on the Perpetuous Guard when they come up with their logo.
Oh, yes, great idea.
And the library's on the way, so we could go into the library, look up the Perpetuous Guard, copy down their logo, pretend to be Perpetuous Guard, and have a really angry reason to need to get to the teleport circle immediately. And if we have the key, which I presume we do, then
yeah, you do.
We can flash the key, and sure they'll be like, yeah, those people. I mean, he already has the key. He needs to use the teleporter, and we can be like, come on, there's Fiona killing folk. We have to get here. You'll be. You don't want to. Yeah, that's the plan.
We are kind of being guards in our own right. Just we're not there. I think it's perfectly fine. Yes. Okay.
And it seems like it has our kind of skill set. Seems should be a fun heist.
Yes, out of character, I'm like, yes, persuasion, 10. Let me use that. It's much better than fighting. Okay. Okay, yeah, then I'd say we take off into the library.
Yeah, you as you make your way through the city, without even having to roll, it's immediately apparent that word of the jailbreak has spread, because a night has passed, and it's and you see that there are elves kind of scurrying around, all coming from the Grand Library. There seems to be these reams of paper and announcement carried out, and as they kind of get posted up around Draíocht, you see sort of a facsimile of yourselves, of Huck's punks. And like with a little kind of like, keep on the lookout for these
Okay.
menaces.
The second can we react like the first?
Yeah, of course.
I would react the first time we saw one of those.
Duck into a tree-based alley. Do you still have your disguise kit? Remember when we were all dressed up as ABBA?
Yes, shall we go blonde? Yes, we'll have more fun. Okay, and I have all the old straw from that. It's yellowed more.
The picture
real gross.
The picture of Huck, where they're looking for Huck of Huck's Punk. Is it a halfling?
It is a halfling. And the picture of Arlington's image is also obscured. It just seems to be a hood and a bandana and 2 eyes. Like, it's no detail. It's just anyone who's wearing like just this. And you do one of those things where you're holding it up like a newspaper, hiding behind it with your own faces, so no one sees you. And then, of course, you pull it down in a classic Beatles style, and then continue on your way. But yeah, describe are you doing mangy ABBA, like wet straw, like gross?
What do these guards? No, I'm thinking more of a neat ABBA. So I'm thinking because we look like responsible people that can protect. So I'm picturing like a real like I want to say nerdy side parting, flat down straw is down like this way, flick to the head.
Gold spandex onesies, right? That's the look of the guard, I presume.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, yeah, I would think we'd make our clothes just different, black, yeah, and neat. I'm going for neat and dull because I want that sort of.
Genuinely, will fit it quite in Draíocht, which is like it's an elven city, and very neat and dull. Elves are quite kind of pompous and a little bit kind of highfalutin. So that style will definitely separate you from the riffraff of which you've been kind of branded by this poster. You have a disguise kit, so you have all the materials you need. I believe you do. As a bard, I think you have one. So just give me a performance roll. Let's see how well you kind of paint everyone's faces. And
this didn't go well last
as you start like a little MUA video for your fans.
Oh, this is just like last time. It's an actual one.
Ooh.
Oh, we're gonna look awful. Wait a second. Can I? It's been a while since I played Huck. Can I make her re-roll that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, is it a bend Tides of Fate? What's that ability called again?
It's either bend luck or Tides of Fate. Bend luck. Attack roll. Yeah. I can use my reaction to spend 2 sorcery points to roll 1d. No, so that one I can add up to 1 to 4, which won't help. Yeah, I can make me re-roll, or I can add yours. Where's Tides of Fate? Tides of Chaos. You gain advantage on one of. Yeah, can't help you.
Oh shit! Because I did just re-roll just in case, and it was a natural 20.
Nice.
That's too jammy. That's too jammy anyway.
Yeah. So we have the worst possible disguise. If anything, we look more like ourselves.
Shit.
Pulled Arlington's bandana down just to do his makeup, and somehow have ripped his he's like. Or sorry, you've made him look more like a bandana and a pair of eyes. He looks more like.
You know what happened?
Actually,
I used the picture as inspiration, I think, and I just made it look more like the thing, You
were looking at the pictures while doing it and not noticing. So now we all look. Iggy, this is. I think we were trying to look like different people, and.
You don't like what I did now?
Oh no, it's great. You know what? I've never looked more like myself.
Thank you.
Just to make a little bit of sense, because you probably wouldn't be able to see yourselves. Iggy has done an incredible job of making each of you look like the other. So, Huck, you look the spitting image of Iggy. Iggy, you look like Arlington to no end, and Arlington looks like Huck.
Where did I get these?
This is what you wanted, right, guys? As I'm braiding Huck's Iggy hair, and like putting some extra flecks of paint on him, like a mother,
The opposite of wiping it off.
Yeah, exactly. Paint, which is what apparently is on my tongue, and rubbing it on his face.
Absolutely. You do that thing sometimes where you wet your brush against your tongue, like. So you always have paint there. Yeah. It will be difficult to traverse the city without being spotted. So worth doing like a group stealth check. So both of you roll stealth, and I'll roll one for Arlington and make a figure up in my head for what his stealth is.
This is going to go badly. I mean, we're not the worst at stealth, are we? I'm not.
Wait, where's... Oh, sorry. Never mind. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm 9.
Okay.
Shit.
Oh,
We're never going to get anywhere.
16.
16. Arlington rolled well as well. So collectively, you have done a good job. Iggy, you're just... I don't know whether it's the failed performance of doing an excellent job, but on the wrong brief. But maybe you're just out loud scolding yourself. You're like, Iggy, oh, fuck it. Yeah. Which does draw a bit of attention to yourself. But you do manage to... There's only 3 of you. The city's never really empty. You know, given the staggered routine of elves, they sort of just trance for 4 hours. So it's not like there's a night time anyway. But crowds have thinned. Those taverns have closed up. You've noticed that they've kind of shut doors. You get real close to being spotted by a set of guards who are knocking on front doors and kind of holding up the bounty posters. But you manage, as someone kind of looks your way and goes, you know, you're just around the corner at the moment, and you can hear the footsteps gather. But again, you're out of sight. There is a heightened sense of tension. Any sign of Fey activity, it's pretty much all but vanished. So blending in is useful. You don't, but that's okay. It's now just a city in disarray. So using that disarray, you manage to kind of weave your way through and find yourself back at the Grand Library, which is pretty much in the central of Draíocht. It kind of bridges across the river Rockshore, both sides. You're outside. Doesn't look like there's much guard activity, but you do see that there seemingly are a couple of elves on their way in. And you overhear some of them muttering about trying to see the High Council to discuss the endless evening and the absolute ruckus of the city over the last couple of days.
Okay. So we're at the library. We can go into the library?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was just in case you had any kind of last minute things to do before you go in. But you make your way in. And again, stepping in, there's an elf, very kind of well dressed and put together, at the entrance, sort of at a standing desk, and seems to be chatting to someone. You overhear, "Hi, Council. Yes. Well, make your way all the way to the top of the Grand Library, and if you wouldn't mind." And they hold out their hand, and you can see that each person seems to be sort of getting a glowing number on their fist. You assume it's some sort of arcane ticketing system, and when they get to the High Council, they'll be called in for their entrance. They clear the way, and you're left in front of this elf at the desk.
Okay. All right, so that wasn't happening to us. That was other people going to the High Council.
That was other people like ahead of you who are also seeking. Just seemed to be kind of people. There was one seemed like a fatherly figure. A couple of just general elves. Nothing untoward really.
Okay. Hello there. I mean, if I look like Iggy, I should do my to. We're very interested in the Perpetuous Guard. Would you have any books in the library about how that guard got founded?
Give me a performance check. What I'm thinking this is to be so humdrum that the elf doesn't look up. You know, you're trying to be so, because if they look up, they'll see you. But they're head in the book at the moment, and it's just one of those singular crests as they're trying to track it down. Perpetuous Guard.
You know what? I'm not awful. Ooh, and that was me trying to roll a d10 anyway. I'm gonna use, because I think I have to do it beforehand. Bend luck. No, not bend luck. Tides of Chaos. Give myself advantage.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I think we need to not be caught at this juncture. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give myself advantage. Tides of Luck. I can't do it again. Tides of Chaos for another long rest. Certain high-level spells may cause wild magic.
Yes.
As a result of this, but that'll be more fun.
Yeah.
Be more fun. All right. That is a 6, so that's good. Good that I have advantage. Hey, natural 20.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. The guard, without even looking up, perpetual guard. Yes, that's the 3rd floor, 2nd corridor. You'll find some histories of the. It's mixed in amongst the histories of the High Council. Anything else I can help you with?
No, that's fine. 3rd floor, you said.
Third floor. Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Arlington can't help himself and goes, "Oh, thank you very much."
Who's Arlington again?
Yeah. Who is he?
Is he me?
He's you. Yeah. He looks like a. Yeah.
So am I dressed like a bugbear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a hidden person. Okay, yeah.
So. Yeah. I mean, we can also say
heads.
that you clearly know they're bad disguises. Like, you don't have to live in the filthy decisions you've made. Like, you can make it to a thing and just, like, you might as well just be yourselves. So let's say you wash off the bad disguise and now you're just yourselves again. Unless you want to stay as each other.
Well, I was thinking we might be able to use it as something. Because what we want to not be is ourselves. And that's how soon before I can try again to do a disguise and roll again.
Let's say if you're making your way eventually to the let's say after you find out information about the Perpetuous Guard, we'll give you fresh information to
Okay.
Yeah.
We can have another go at another stab. Which is fair because we might know what they look like then. So 3rd floor, no
Before you
restrictions.
find the area, easy enough. Give me an investigation check. Either both of you can do this, or one of you can do it with advantage. It's up to you're helping each other, so it's up to you.
I don't think either of us are going to be that good at it. Iggy might be better. I don't know.
Well, we'll just each do it, right?
Let's both split up. Time is of the essence, right? Let's not help each other.
13.
13. Yeah, nice.
I got 8.
Nice. Huck, you find it a little bit difficult to find exactly what you're looking for. In fact, you find something that's like you find some information that's a little bit misleading in the sense that you know that they're not a secret police, but they tend to be in kind of casual, their own clothing. And you're like, they don't have a uniform. How are we ever going to look like them? But then as Iggy comes across with his 13, he's like, well, if they look like anyone, they can look like anyone. So
and do they
that,
have
like to combine to go? There seems to be some kind of sigil.
Sure.
Yeah. Which, for the sake of after naming it after Kirkstall Brewery Perpetuous, let's say it's this K. They seem to all carry this K, which stands for
Kinagar.
killers?
Which stands for Kian Carla. But with a K. No, it stands for keep them safe. So you do notice that there is some kind of, it's not necessarily uniform, but maybe a piece of identification, FBI-like. That
And is there what we were looking for as well? Was any paperwork that there might be like that specific?
Yeah, you do see a fairly good representation of that. That's K in this sort of. I guess the FBI is the best way to talk about it.
Then I'm going to take out, with all of my equipment that I have, I'm going to try and recreate 3 of those as well as possible.
Yeah, what names do you put as your kind of Perpetuous Guard aliases?
Oh.
I'm Hey Penny, I believe.
Cool.
I'm going to go with Valencia.
Valencia.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. You're dressed as Iggy, so like it's a feminine name.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm going to. Can I also try and give us new disguises, which are those plain, boring things,
Yes.
and just dull everything down? My hair is going to be like short and dark and tied away, and like I'm going to add like a bunch of like maybe some just dark circles under my eyes, and just kind of we just want to look like tired, like just boring worker bees.
I love the description before the roll because it means that that's what you're trying to do. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it goes,
Give us another performance.
Okay, come on.
Can I help?
Oh.
Yeah, you can help for advantage. You can kind of
this
guide.
time it was a 19.
Hey.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
If you want to roll again, just because Huck is
Okay,
helping, so we give you advantage. Yeah. It's like
that was
the most OP tool in D&D, and yeah, people often forget to use it. So 19 is really good. Like you managed even to like scoop up some of the boring essence of the library, and somehow that's like infused in your demeanor. Not necessarily in your physical appearance, but definitely in how you carry yourself. You kind of look around and see some real bored nerds. You see a bunch of nerds. They seem to be rolling some kind of stone polyhedral things, and like some of them raise their they're nerds. That's what they are. You know them to be nerds.
Criminals. Just criminals.
But yeah, you've got a pretty good. You look like the pre-transformation, glasses off, hair down version of anyone in any sort of transformation movie, be it man or woman or non-gender specific people.
Clark Kent. Clark Kent.
Yes. Yeah. Even and all of you, Huck and Arlington included, it's a good enough costume that it helps you carry yourself. Like there's almost a little bit of weight in your shoulders that you can kind of scoot by. Or you feel yourself a little bit pulled back. Actually, that would be it, because you're guards. You feel like there's kind of like a little invisible string pulling at the back of your shoulders to kind of keep you upright.
Okay. Right. That's good. Then we can head on up towards the High Council. I'm going to talk like this now. In this disguise.
Yes. I believe that is what we should do.
Yes. Do you think that number stamp was an important aspect at all? Probably better not to be stamped.
No, we don't have time for the stamp.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't need a number stamp. Who do they think we are? We're the Perpetuous Guard. We'll walk right in.
Exactly.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Just for your own, to give you a peek behind the scenes, and also for the audience sake, I've been kind of stealthily rolling dice to see how far behind the city guard is to these guys, and it's like just as you leave the corridor in the library, a set of guard come in. It's like I swear I just saw them, but no, they're too boring to the adventures we're looking for, and then walk away like narrowly missed, but very much missed by the last roll I did. So not that you know it, but you know it now. But they seem to not be on your trail as much as they were from the major fuck ups earlier.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stairs. Is it just like, does it come up into an upper, like top of a tree kind of area where there's another bigger tree or something?
Yeah, exactly that. So like you step out into the open air and you're kind of at the top of this, I guess you would call it like a open air patio, or like what's that word I'm looking for? Like not a roof, but like a open space.
Like a veranda?
Anyway.
Conservatory or like a...
Yeah, maybe it's a bit like
that. Can a veranda be high up? Or is a veranda just like on the garden?
Balcony?
A veranda.
It's a bit like that. Yeah. There is a word for like this open air space, like a courtyard.
Courtyard.
A rooftop courtyard. And you see a set of stairs leading up out of the treetops. So you're still kind of under the cover of trees, but there is this sort of courtyard space. And as you go up these stairs, just above the tree break, you see this long and intricately carved bridge. It's all sanded down, it's carved, there's complicated patterns in wood woven together to create a barrier either side from the, frankly, kind of dizzying heights below either side. And it stretches all across the lower bridges of Draíocht and up towards, and this is the first time you would have seen it because it's the first time you've broken the treetops, this majestic oak tree. Like it seems to be some 100 feet above the rest of the city, and the bridge itself is some 500 feet long. So it's like obnoxiously majestic how you get here. You get the feeling they built it so you'd be forced to kind of crane your necks as you walk up looking at its majesty, which, if that gives you any impression about what the High Council are like, that's the sort of opulence in like.
Is it similar at all to the tree we saw in the other world? Like, remember we saw a big giant tree and it was kind of half dead, but like, is there a similar grandeur?
Not necessarily. It's like it's bigger, it's thicker, it's more fortified. Like that tree was a birch, which would naturally be quite thin, but because you guys are small, felt bigger. But this one is just like if a child drew a tree, like bark and leaves and all.
Immediately know what you mean. Like cloud tree.
Yeah.
Yes. It's perfect. Like it's so good. Oddly enough though, like unlike trees in the real world, like a child's tree, there's no branches in the trunk because, it's all kind of held up top. So that trunk is completely bare. But where the bridge connects, kind cutting off sort of any entrance that isn't necessarily this bridge or by magical means, you see that there are small stairways and rope bridges and connections from the central trunk to 7 large sort of cloud-like structures either side. And in between each of these sort of stretching out, you see another rope bridge between each one, almost like the tree has like a little hem. Like there's a little kind of frilly hem to this tree around the top, or crown, if you were to picture it that way.
Cool.
Okay. Can I pull Iggy in before we get to the door of it or whatever else to discuss the plan? Pull them to the side.
You may.
Yeah. So you're better with the words, as you can tell from right there when I was trying to speak. So you should probably go forward. But we should probably figure out what we were going to do. I mean, I reckon we go in a rush. We look angry. We need to get to the teleportation circle immediately. We flash the key and we'll threaten whoever it is with being fired or going to jail for getting in the way of our, stuff like guards do.
What name? I mean, people love a name drop. What name could we drop? Like, I'm thinking, do we say we're doing this on behalf of Sparkle Puffs?
We could say that. That's a good shout. We didn't ken anything about any of them. But Sparkle Puff's a name.
Or Beaverton, the police, which is more likely.
I don't think Beaverton's name will carry any clout, especially with our prison break. Sure, we've fairly ruined his career and his trust in any foreigners, foreign adventurers.
Yeah, I think, okay, so the plan is to just insist on time sensitivity and that their name will, okay. And what am I asking for? I'm asking for the dimension.
We need to get to the teleportation circle.
Teleportation.
The council's teleportation circle. We're the Perpetuous Guard. We could do up a sheet of paper to flash in front of them looking like orders or something. You wouldn't want to have them looking up too close. And I can be on standby with if you want to claim some small thing, I can be on standby behind you with like a prestidigitation or a minor illusion to give you something. If the conversation needs it, just say I have that thing, and then I'll try to prestidigitate it. It has to be like a small thing, though. You know yourself, you've done the spell. A piece of paper or what is happening to my voice? I'm doing both voices. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that sound like a plan?
I'm thinking we're in quite an exposed place right now. If they really aren't buying this, do you agree? I think we should kind of huff and puff and then leave and be like, okay, we'll be back with something, and maybe not like, because I think they probably could corner us here. We can maybe try the Fianna House instead.
I mean, it could be bad, but I hadn't even considered it failing. I'll be honest.
That's why I love you, Huck.
I reckon if they all come at us, couple of fireballs, and
see, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe contingency plan is we huff and puff, and by that I do not mean puff fireballs at them.
But I mean, it's a big tree. They're probably going to be afraid of fireballs.
It's not okay. Well, okay.
I'll follow your lead. You'll be the one talking.
Okay.
I'll just be there looking brooding and handsome.
Excellent. Not too brooding. No, remember, boring and work focused.
Aye, and angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Serious. Yes. Okay.
Right. Yeah. You
Does it look like there is? I'm picturing sort of in movies where it's New York and there's like a light-filled office where like the elevators are right there, and how do we have to speak to someone to get past them? Like, is there a clear person that we can say all this to?
Yes, yeah. You as you make your way closer to the door to the entrance of the High Council and their Parliament, you see that guarding the door there seems to be 4 elite kind of members of the guard. They are dressed far better than you've seen the city guards. They seem to have a bit more. It's interesting enough, all that sternness and work focus, like they live it, and it's like that's nice, right? This is what you're trying to emulate. They're stereotypically so close to what you guys have been trying to do.
So is it clear immediately that they are the Perpetuous Guard that we would have seen in the books earlier?
No, they're wearing a uniform. So actually, based on the books, these can't be the Perpetuous Guard because these just must be kind of higher lieutenants of the City Guard.
Okay.
And they all, as you approach, both do a, I guess it's performance again, because it's like how well you pull off carrying yourselves as these
Okay.
kind of stiff upper lift people.
Okay, I've got a 14 performance as we approach.
Nice.
I got a 9, but I think I have some stats. 1 second. I think I have 3. Ultimately, I think I'll end up on 12. But I'll check.
Cool.
And I had 5. So I end up on
14.
14.
No, 14, okay.
Nice. So you both make your way up, and Arlington also does relatively well. A little worse than you guys, but manages to kind of keep himself contained behind you. You do notice as you're making your way towards that these guards just seem to be kind of giving cursory glances as different members of the public are just showing, like, you know, and they have that boring drawl of like, here to see the High Council, and they let them in. And they just seem to be waving people in, just checking for that they have a number on their hand. So as you guys approach, they go, yep.
Can I kind of pull one of them over towards me before, like, as if
one of them seems to be more kind of the face of the group. The rest are all there.
I want to gesture them over and speak in a tone, hopefully that mainly more he can just hear. Okay. Try to stay serious.
I feel like you're about to be like, here, will you shift my base?
Right, yeah.
Will you buy us drink?
Yeah.
Sorry. Excuse me. Are you of some authority? I need to speak to someone with authority immediately.
Well, I'm guarding the entrance at the moment, so if it's about getting in and out of the building, then I'm the main point of authority.
Excellent. I think you can help me. We are here on important business. We are with the Perpetuous Guard. We need to get to the teleportation chamber immediately, as fast as possible. Which is the best course of action do you think that we should take?
Make a persuasion check.
17?
Yeah, it's good. You catch him glance towards the top of the building when you mention the teleportation circle. But he goes, I'm sure you understand, even if it is important business, that we can't just let you in. Like, there needs to be some documentation. If you're working on, are you working on behalf of the Perpetuous Guard?
Can I bring out the documents, for the little FBI thing, and say, this is pressing matter, and I don't want to draw attention to ourselves. And I show it to him, put it by again.
Yeah, he puts a hand out to kind of take a closer look. Do you let him take it away off your hands?
Yes.
Okay. Halfpenny, yes. Well, that seems. And your compatriots here also on business at the Perpetual Guard?
Yes, and they flash there.
Quickly flash the thing.
Or I would gesture to
well, once you get inside, I'm sure you have the proper clearance to get up where you need to go, but I mean, it is a public foyer, so not like I'm going to be fired for just letting you in.
Okay, thank you. I just go to walk past them.
Yeah. And you make your way inside.
You just made the fake numbers. That would have been... Anyway.
Yeah.
Also,
Why go with a simple plan when an overcomplicated one is way more fun?
Very, very polite elite guard there. Very much deferring to the guy. Can you let us in? Will you?
Well, I was trying to appeal to his sense of authority. He wanted, I'm trying to get
red tape. You
got to play the system. Yeah, I get it.
Gonna play this. It feels like a very male thing.
Good cop, as long as you need to be good cop. If I have to jump in and be like, "Why are we dealing with all this paperwork?"
I'm trying to appeal to his masculinity of wanting to be in control. I'm like, where do you think I should go?
Yeah.
So
It worked perfectly. Didn't occur to me as a plan. So, good plan. Go ahead.
Yeah, as Huck kind of under his breath scolds you for not just kind of barging past on your way in, and you make your way into this foyer. If the bridge was fancy, everywhere you look and see inside, it's just this opulent and lavish design, all carved in and sanded down oak. It's this big open foyer space. It seems like here, compared to that sort of natural ruggedness of the city below, it's all been stripped away. So you're inside the trunk. in an open foyer. It seems to be lined with art, wooden statues of the kind of founding High Council. Interesting enough, you do see in the center, similar to the Grand Library down below, there's a statue of Eramon, son of Milisponia, which what you've come to learn has some connection with Arlington. Around the walls, growing from the floors itself, you see a series of stairwells leading up towards what you assume are the offices, audience chambers. Looks like at a glance there's about 5 floors in total. Lower down seem to be just sort of meeting rooms, offices, general admin, bureaucracy. Seem to be some filing and some archiving happening around, and a few elves just kind of like pushing little document trolleys. It's very much like a governmental building.
Do we think Wes might get distracted? Because I think he said he hadn't seen a statue of Eramon yet. If that's clearly a statue of Eramon, I don't know.
He's seen one down below in the library. It was also there.
Oh, okay.
This one's a little bit more kind of suited up, not in full armor. So it seems like if there was a warrior version and then like a I don't know, office manager version, and this is the more
duty on the
parliamentary. Yeah. This is the more sovereign ruler.
Yeah, gods always have like different, realms that they deal with. This is they worship that king, the administrative bureaucracy version of him.
Yeah.
That aspect of him is what they want there.
Yeah. They're like, woo, data entry.
Yeah.
You spot a little kind of, maybe there's a spark of an office romance happening in the corner. You don't know. You're not interested, but ooh, it's intriguing. There seems to be an office prankster. All the usual office guys are going on. There's no photocopiers. There's just arcane practitioners just waving their hand over documents, and then from outside, their cloaks behind them just seems to be more paper coming out. I don't know. It's a magical wonderland. And as you enter, you do see someone very exquisitely dressed. A sort of gilded elf looks expectantly at you. All the other elves, aside from the city guards, seem to be in this uniform. It's a rich mossy green, and there seems to be a golden rope connected to a sort of gold half cape. You weren't too far off, Huck, with the idea that they'd all be in gold spandex. These ones definitely seem to be a little bit more gilded. And he goes, yes, how can I help?
Hello, we are trying to get to the teleportation chamber as quickly as possible. I'm going to flash my identification again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see he's about to object, and he sees the identification and looks out to kind of the elite guard. And, yes, well, I'm sure you know the way.
Excellent. Okay, I'm staring into his soul as I'm doing it. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you don't even have to, it's such good role play that you don't have to roll for it. But
okay.
I think here at the bottom of this, what I'm beginning to realize is very much like a Matrix-esque foyer. It's completely not meant to be. I think here in this moment where you seem to have infiltrated and by all means and purposes have a clear route to the top floor of this building, is where we'll take our break. We'll come back and see what barriers, what mystical obstacles, and what things you can just essentially roll out of the way. That's how we play this game.
Excellent.
But before we go to break, I want to tell you, if you are a fan of tabletop role-playing games, be it Dungeons & Dragons or any of the other systems, and you like hand-carved supporting local businesses, check out Decode Irish. That's the little ring you use to find the promo codes. Check out decodeirish.com. And when you get to the checkout, use the promo code Homebrew10. That's a partnership we have with Dakota Irish. They've been a long-standing partner of the show, huge supporters of us, and we, in turn, are huge supporters of them. It was kind of like a mutual love that just sort of grew together at the same time. It's wonderful. But go there, 10% off, Homebrew10 is the code. Maybe on your break, have a look. It's coming up to the gifting season. If you want to treat yourself to something, I won't tell. Until then, we'll be back in about 15 minutes, and we'll pick up the adventure where we've literally just left it off. All right. Hey, welcome back to part 2 of Homebrew, or Homebrew Quest if you're looking for us anywhere. We just, we're on first name basis, so we just call it Homebrew. Wes, our lovable and adorable bugbear, isn't here, but I guarantee he will be messaging me saying, you didn't tell them to do the clickety clicks. So before we jump back into the adventure, if you're watching along live, please do hit those thumbs up buttons, subscribe, follow, all the things on YouTube. There's a little like those analytics stuff. It's really weird, but it helps because that's how the big corps know the stuff's worth watching. So yeah, please do. If you're kind of, before we jump back in, move that little mouse, click on it. If you're watching on your phone, do the things. You might be watching on demand. We might be not doing it live for you. We're just in your space. We're hanging out with you wherever you are. That's okay. That's what we're here for. So please do just give us a like, subscribe. If you've already done that, tell a friend, or follow us on the social channels, where we tend to do some kind of like behind the scenes stuff sometimes. We also have a Discord if you love talking about like beer, Dungeons and Dragons, homebrewing stuff. We have like a little budding Discord. It's like a lovely little community over there. And it's not, look, if you're on a lot of Discords and you're like, oh, the notifications, ours just like pipes up every once in a while. It's not going to invade on your life. So you'll find that over on the Twitter channel. It's just like it pops up every once in a while. It's a nice little reminder, like an old friend reaching out and getting in touch. That's what our Discord is. I think that's everything we need to tell you before we jump back in. I'm sure I'll have like end of show announcements, but we'll get to them at the end of the show. Yeah. We'll dive right back into the adventure where we left off. So our party, who are Iggy, Huck, and Arlington, who's keeping to himself, he's very hungover after the absolute binge fest, and someone with the strongest constitution, but maybe the weakest little tum-tum. That's our cute little cuddly bear. So he's the one who's gotten hungover. Our smaller and more light characters are taking it in their stride. You're on the ground floor. It seems to be that no one's going to stop you, at least here, making your way through the High Council and where you want to go inside, the Dáil of Draíocht, or for anyone who doesn't speak Irish, the Parliament, essentially where all the governance is. What would you like to do?
Well, I guess he said we know the way, so I'm going to quickly brush past him and be like, let's keep on going. What does it look like directly ahead of us? I'm imagining for no reason whatsoever just to a right and a left. Is there a forward?
Yeah, there's a forward up to some stairs that seem to kind of start curling around on the outsides of this large space. It's not completely hollow. You do see that there seems to be sort of inside platforms and rooms and almost like floating open office spaces. Like it's not just a completely hollow tree. There are some distances, but you can see from bottom to top at the right angle, almost like one of those buildings in the real world where they have like escalators and stuff and like buildings, but it is sort of open plan, but it's not. What's a good place to, if you've been to the convention centre in Dublin, that's a good way to kind of picture that.
Okay.
So
yeah. And I've just remembered the guard looked up to the roof when Iggy mentioned the thing. So let's was that up and to the right?
Yeah, why not?
We're just trying to go up, right?
Yeah, so up and to the right.
Just nice. Go up and keep going up as fast and as quickly as as fast and as quickly as possible.
Huck, make a perception check as you're making your way up. And Iggy, Huck, you also feel this, but while you're doing the check, I'll just describe it to Iggy. There's a sort of a feeling of unease here. You're a little bit more tuned into the magical fabric of the world, being a bard, and those subtle influences on your behavior. And you all get the feeling, Iggy first, but it sort of wafts through you, that your senses are somewhat being played upon. And it is that kind of like fasten up, and it's the moment you go fasten up that you kind of a little voice in your head goes, well, there's no urgency here. Not like it's not a separate voice. It's just kind of, you also go like, but also we can take our time. And you look around and like everyone just seems to be taking their time.
Okay.
Do you think, is it just me or it has pretending to be really boring and good at work? Is it making you kind of feel a bit more boring and better at work?
I thought I was doing a great job at being really boring, but it's so boring around here.
It really is. I forget what it's like to be an adventurer, I think.
I
listless walking up the stairs, maybe.
We got past that guy. We didn't even have the right forms. Am I right? Not even the 36A1, which he should have asked for. Where did that come from?
That perception check. What did you end up getting?
I got a 14.
14. Plus anything? Sorry.
0 plus 0.
Ah, okay. It's enough to notice that it seems like that the open chamber and this sort of central place, you can get up and down, but you do see, similar to the front door, each level somewhere along the line, seemingly where you step off the stairs, there seems to be one elite guard, just always kind of there and checking people. And as people walk by, like a little flash of a badge or a little kind of show of a hand, there always seems to be a checkpoint every floor all the way up.
Is that for it to go off on that floor or to continue up in the stairs?
To go off on that floor.
Okay, yeah. So we're not doing that. We're just going straight. And as we pass the guards, I'll make the briefest of eye contact and a nod as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get a response from them. Some of them are distracted. But yeah. One of them,
we've got work to do here.
Who knows? You might be employee of the month. Like that level of social interaction in a government building, just lifted in spirits.
Yeah.
You make your way all the way up. Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish your goof.
No, go on.
Okay, never mind. You do see, and you know this from having seen it on the outside, that there seemingly is the indoor stairwells and the outdoor stairwells. Those outdoor stairwells sort of spin around, and they're sort of a little bit less guarded because they're more internal walkways and about. But that is an option too. You do know that that's the case. It seems that there are kind of balconies and trellises decorating some of the more important outside office spaces. And you can see that because you can kind of see a little bit through and a little bit around the place as you get a sense for it. You make your way all the way up to the top. And it seems to be, as you make your way up on the stairs, like everyone roll a constitution check.
Oh, this is bad.
21.
Nice.
Okay. Abilities. Con. I got 5.
Okay, that has some consequences. I need you both to make a charisma saving throw, but Huck, you need to make it with disadvantage because the exertion of getting up these stairs, plodding along, like you've gone up five sets of very big stairs.
I got 18.
Nice.
Okay. With disadvantage. Oh, it's charisma, so I had the charisma save?
Yeah.
9. Bearing in mind that I have a +5.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, sorry. 8.
Really agree with me, not with Huck, which I could have.
It would have been 9 if I could take the higher roll. It's in fact 8. I rolled a 4.
Shit.
As you make your way up, Huck, and I'll do this and then ask you a very important question afterwards, which kind of whether this sets in. But you get this feeling that there's no need to be underhand. You could just seek the council's guidance and you're convinced if you just explain the situation, they're going to understand and help.
What does he say?
No, that's just internal. The big question is, are you immune to being charmed? I can't remember if as a fey creature, you're a fey playable creature, so there's not the exact monster stats.
I actually think there was something like that. Also, I'm wearing my glasses, so I'm immune. I'm at advantage to being intimidated because they look like they're in underwear, but no one's actually doing anything. So I don't know. I'm just mentioning it in case it's relevant.
You noticed earlier that their underwear had a little golden rope and a little golden cape. Just to keep anything I describe on a person, it's just that pattern on underwear for you.
Nice.
I have an advantage on any saving throw against being charmed, and I can't be put to sleep. And I can't be put to sleep by magic.
So that would have been a straight roll.
Which would have been on a 9.
Yeah, so it's still the same. You're just convinced, unless that's probably the wrong way to do it. That's a DM lesson for anyone out there. I keep forgetting that sometimes it's the first time I come across them like this. Probably should say those things beforehand. Because
I have an advantage on. Oh, I should know how to be a puka. But I mean, this is just for other things. But I have advantage on any intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throws when they're doing against magic.
Nice. Yeah.
So if I had had a previous roll, but we're not going to get into that. I don't think I did anyway.
Yeah. Good to know that, like, and you're still settling into your puka form, so these things, they're fluid. I would normally defer to Wes at this point as kind of the de facto rules lawyer at the table. Are you okay taking just the higher of the rolls you rolled, or do you want to roll one more time, knowing that the whole internet will judge you if you roll one more time? Because we know what the right answer is here.
I mean, to be honest, the first number I rolled was a 3. So, I mean, you're taking straight roll. That's what I rolled. That's what happened.
Yeah, you are convinced. You're like, this is the High Council. Like, they govern this place, they keep order. If you just like all these people who've gotten their numbers, if you just wait in line, they'll get to you.
Iggy, I mean, what are we doing? They're the ruling body. We really don't know anything. We could probably just go, here, we need to go stop. I mean, they've got to be against Rua. I mean, why wouldn't they be?
Because of everything that we've been told. What's wrong with you? We were told pretty explicitly by Beaverton. Remember, they've all gone mad here. What? You're sort of looking a bit misty in the eyes there. Are you okay?
I mean, I'd love to get back to my desk and be done with all of this. Sit down to some nice work. Get the forms going.
Oh God. Okay. How about we will try that, but I'm going to try mine first because we did agree with that first, and if not, we can try your way.
I mean, contested rolls.
And we'll play some jacks afterwards.
I mean, jacks. I did like jacks. They do seem like you can't play jacks here. That's a problem.
Yeah, you do see right beside you there is like a sign-up sheet for a social club, and it's like Tuesdays Jacks night.
I mean, they do play jacks here. Okay, it's a good place again. I don't know. I mean, we could just talk to them. We've been friends for a long time, but it just feels right. Ben, with the contestant, can she persuade me? I mean, I'm willing to allow her to persuade me, but.
Can I try and persuade him and by reminding him of what we heard about?
Yeah, I think the words you were just saying, the dialogue for lack of a better term, is there. You can either try to persuade him, or if there's anything else you think that might be good in this situation, you can do that. I was
trying to persuade, and I got a 29.
Nice.
I'll try to roll a 3 and a 4 again. Damn. I rolled a 15, but I think I'm on +5. It's charisma, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what do I do? What am I?
Well, you're probably doing like you're probably being yeah, you're fine. Yeah, it's a high enough thing that Iggy both through her for the first time, maybe since knowing Iggy, she's making sense. Which that's where you go, something's wrong with my brain. So I can't trust myself if that's the case. And he managed to, yeah.
I'll trust you. We're friends, That's
we are friends, and these people aren't. We cannot trust them. I can't get that across enough.
I mean, but they're just lovely bookish nerds.
Try and clink them. Remember, I know we're wearing these dull clothes, and you're feeling like this dull worker bee. But remember, the sparkling Demonte of the Huck's Punks cloak. Just keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind's eye.
Huck's Punks.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
The office comes to a complete halt as the name of the people that the whole city are looking for is sort of said, and out loud as it kind of echoes, Huck's Punks, Huck's Punks, Huck's Punks. And it cuts into some water cooler conversation. Like, so how was your weekend? What's the weather like? Huck's Punks.
And I'm going to say, I'm going to go, we'll get them, yeah, don't worry, and continue on as if we're hurrying up.
Yeah, make a, you don't need to make it. That's you recover fast enough. Your bardic, as you kind of come into your bardic sensibilities, not only are you adept at sort of cutting through other people's charm, but using your own charm to kind of weave the world to your...
I'm doing much better. I got that natural one out of the way with our terrible costumes at the beginning.
I was saying that at the break. It's Wes. He's a bad luck charm for you. Like,
Yeah,
we just need to cut him from the show.
Without him trying to, talk his way in when he has no charisma, and then ultimately just try to strength his way through, we're actually quite a savvy group.
Okay.
You still are faced with the elite guard who's kind of standing there. No one's approaching this. Like, it seems to be. No, sorry. I just said people were. I was about to say no one's coming up this high in such a high level, but people are coming by the public with their little arm stamps.
So are we at
so
the
you
top
make
level?
your way up. Yeah, we're at the top level now, and there's one elite guard there. Same uniform, same everything. This one has red hair. Because hey, it's my job to describe the world to you, and I haven't been doing that. So that's on me.
Red hair. Iggy has red hair. She's thrown. Is this me? Who am I? Am I the grey person? Or am I red-haired Iggy? Oh no, collapsing. No,
I snap at it.
no, that was just
red hair.
Lucy the player there with red hair. So it was like, oh, is he attractive? What does he look like? Okay. Yeah, well, I'm gonna go up, flash the badge again, and say, we're here for the teleportation chamber. I nearly said formula, but yeah. Go as if to go through.
Yeah, this is kind of intimidation. Like, you're trying to put yourself on it, so.
Natural 1.
I was gonna say before she rolled it that I was gonna be helping, trying to look intimidating, but yeah, I was actually gonna say that, but yeah, she rolled a 1, so.
Yeah. So this guard puts a hand out and goes, "Sorry, I'm sure you're aware that I need to just check your credentials before you pass."
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I'm honestly, this is all so important. I'm not thinking straight. You're doing your job, and I respect. We need people like you in these dangerous times. And I pass him my identification.
Yeah, it's a natural 1, so there has to be some dire consequences, and it's the second one of the game. But some in your fluster and in your move, a little bit of your dull and boring costume slips. And he catches the glint of a shiny, bright, kind of a bedazzled thing on the back of your cloak, which, as a man of the law, knows what to look out for. He goes, "Sorry, what's that behind your? Does that say Huck Puh?" I can only see half of it, so I don't.
So we have been deep undercover. I'm sorry, we're in the middle of an investigation right now. I can't get into this, but yeah, we have been under. What do you call it? We've been in costume.
Undercover.
I think you mean disguise. Fellow
yeah.
guards! And he shouts out, and it seems to be that there's a ruckus exploding around you. It's like, Huck's punks are here! They've infiltrated the High Castle. High Castle. That's a show. They're the men in this High Council, and the whole reality has changed. The Nazis won the war. So there's this big shout out, and for lack of anything else to do, I mean, the ruse is up. Like, let's roll some initiative.
Okay. What can you describe where we like? Is this a corridor? Is this a floor? Are there doors? Yeah.
You are coming up on the outside circle of a stairwell where there's a singular guard, and it seems like people have gone through, and then there's a sort of barrier wall leading to more tree on the other side. So if you're kind of circling around, this makes sense. Where the stairs points out to the foyer, there's now like a wall that leads into a sort of blocked off area. So you're not really sure what's through here, but it seems to be that you're kind of at the end of your road.
Yeah.
Because at the top anymore, there's nowhere to look out onto, because it's just now.
There's a door that's closed, do you say? Or open?
It's not a door, it's just that there's a guard there in the way at the top of this. Like, if it's a circle, like at the edge of the stair where it curves up, and then they've built a wall so you can't see in from down below. Okay. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, then it's okay. I can keep going.
This is horrible for D&D.
I might be able to draw it. This is going to be nonsense for the audience, but I can definitely draw it. So if your stairwell, this is really loose. Then the heavy line I'm drawing is the entranceway, which is a branch. So, and this is where you use like roll 20s and stuff. Can you see this? And see
Yeah.
the way there's a circle and a stairway? And then
Yeah.
that kind of heavy box? So it's kind of
that's the
out
box
from the
I'm
trunk.
trying to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, the box is where you're trying to get into because it's one of those 7 branches that was pulling out from the trunk.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, this is gridded paper. I could use this for the battle, but let's not. Because we might change our mind of what's going on and what's happening. Let me try find my notes again. Here we are. So roll some initiative. I'm going to pull up my little initiative chart. Oh,
I got 16.
I rolled while you were doing that. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Hook?
10.
10. Okay. Then, yeah.
16.
Hook
Yeah.
and the guard. Brilliant. So I have that here. All written down in front of me. I usually do it on my little screenio, but this time, for whatever reason, I have like a little cool like table for initiative. I'll share it around in the Discord if anyone's interested. I find it really easy to move around. But top of the round, and it's not. I should make it clear. There's been sort of no aggressive action except for the fact that time seems to have just slowed down around you, and much like any battle, you're ultimately aware that the next couple of seconds, 6 at a time, like rounds of combat, are vitally important to how you get out of the situation. So it's think of it less like a combat and more like quick reactions. But you can also think of it like a combat if you want. You can like go full at it. Like it's that's your choice.
Was first on the thing.
Actually, Iggy, you were up first. As they go to shout out, you are first off the mark, and you get a full round to react.
I want to cast Phantasmal Force on him.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. So he has to make an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw. You got it. Ooh, a straight 10. What's your spell save DC?
Oh, 15.
15. Yeah. What? As you form this image in their brain, what shape does it take?
And this might be something that I can't do. I'm not sure. What I want him to think. It says like an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature. I want him to think that he hasn't seen us at all, that he's just blinking open and he was just he fell asleep on the job and actually no one's here and he's going to be embarrassed that he called people to Huck's Punks. So I want him to think that we're not here.
That is, yeah, that's, let me just quickly look up, and for the audience, I'll read this out. So you craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature that you can see, which is the phantasmal object, creature, or other visible phenomenon of your choice, no larger than a 10-foot cube. So that's the space you can deal in. But I think you can pull this off. And the way I'm thinking about this is you don't necessarily hide yourselves. You recreate the 10-foot cube of the stairwell.
That's what,
behind you. So that like a blink, it's like, oh no, I was just looking at this thing.
Yes, and something's blocking him from seeing us. And as that's happening, I'm going to be moving to go in. And obviously we're in an initiative, but like gesturing so that we can kind of try and go past while he's just standing there confused is what I'm hoping for. Yeah,
absolutely. This is quite sad because in his mind, this guard, this red-headed beauty, has fallen asleep and daydreamed about being the hero who captures Huck's Punks. It's like, oh, they're gonna give me, and like this dream, he lives a full life in his own head. He's awarded. He's given like one of these days he's gonna be a perpetual guard. Like that's his destiny. And then as he wakes up and kind of blinks and goes, huh, and feels this sort of force push past him. And in Phantasmal Force, this is what's so fucked up about the spell. The phantasm can include sound, temperature, any stimuli that's only evident to this creature. And while they see it, they have to rationalize everything that happens, which is the worst for a DM. So any illogical outcomes, like the feeling of a force pushing past them, they rationalize to being like, oh, sleepy jitters. Like when you fall from a dream and you're like, oh, fuck. You manage to make your way past. The unfortunate thing is that Huck and Arlington haven't yet. But that's not to say they can't.
Yeah.
You have a bonus action.
I'm doing it like my only other move, like as I'm moving, I'd be gesturing as if just be like this way. But I'm sure that's
Yeah, you've got your bonus action if you want to use it. And your movement is moving past into the space where you see a bunch of elves, stuffy looking people, sort of a bit flustered from there waiting in line, and a little bit like, and because the guard isn't making a ruckus, they're not really.
And what I would want to be doing there, I don't know if on the go, is because I still have that thing in my hand. I would imagine like the identification. So I would want to just be looking, going like, it's okay, with my eyes of confidence and ice cold authority.
Yeah, let's say that uses your bonus action, and that will just need you to make a performance check. You can make it with advantage because the guard doesn't seem to be reacting to the fact that the ruckus he just caused is no longer a thing.
Okay, that was 23.
Nice, yeah. They've got their own business to look after.
Oh, no, sorry,
They're just it's still above 20 and it's still good. They got numbers. They're numbers and lines. They're cogs in a machine. They got their own problems. Their numbers coming up someday as they wait. One of them, who's this gaunt, pale-looking elf with like thick black hair, starts monologuing, and his name's Joseph K. Hey, look, K, here we are. They're trapped in the machine of bureaucracy. Next is Huck. Huck, you're up.
Cool. So I'm going to try to move past, and I have nimbleness, so I can move through a creature's space, provided that creature's larger than me. So I shouldn't. I'm kind of reading that as there'd be less of a hindrance for me to squeeze past him.
Yeah.
But I guess my concern is, and I would do this if Wes was here. The other spell that I have, because I can't do much to help him, and I think it'd be suspicious if I make him smaller. To anyone else that's looking, I'm gonna try to. Is it bend luck? Yeah, I can use 2 sorcery points. So, presuming that Wes, in anticipation of Wes moving through, if Wes decides to move through, I'm going to use bend luck to roll a d4 and help him in some way, shape, or form, because he's the least likely to succeed. So that's my plan, because I think I can get past him.
Yeah, I think in normal circumstances, even with nimbleness, you would be noticed in some sense, but I think you've made a lot of sense to me. I'm convinced that with your nimbleness and puka wiliness, that you can kind of dart in and out and avoid causing any sort of problems to this guard or shaking them out of their stupor. So you managed to get by, and you're just waiting for Arlington. You're just keeping an eye on Arlington as they come through.
Yeah, I'm going to try to bend luck in his favor. I don't know what he's going to try to do. So let me know when I need to roll a d4.
Yeah, it's Arlington's up next. As it happens, just the guard rolled complete dog shit. So which is great. Hey, that's the fate of the dice.
He's very confused.
Yeah, the dice gods really want you to get to the teleportation circle. Arlington. Let's think like Wes is a clever player. Arlington would try to convince me that disengaging and therefore not getting attack of opportunities would mean that you could get past someone without them necessarily grabbing you. So he's going to disengage, use the disengage action, and move past. He's still going to have to roll some sort of stealth check, but he's going to roll it with He's going to roll it with advantage for that. I don't know his stealth, but what was the D4 number you got, Huck?
I just got a 4. So
nice.
As helpful as possible.
Yes. Arlington, with a level of litheness that you've really never seen, just kind of presses against the wall and just like shimmies through, keeping his kind of axe and shield behind, and just kind of scrapes by the wall. But again, I've rolled so a target afflicted by phantasmal force can use its action to examine the phantasm, which they would want to do because they're like, huh? And instead of physically, interacting with it, they're going to do the double eye rub to examine it. But they still rolled like dog shit. So as far as they're concerned, that was a delightful but disappointing dream. Now, everyone else in the building still heard that, and that you do hear from down below footsteps of people running up. So you all have a moment to sort of act whatever way you want.
Is there somewhere clear that we can go, like further in and away from where that guard is, so that when the guards come up to him and he says, "Oh, I don't know what happened," they can't see us?
Yes, there seems to be a set of double doors which everyone is waiting outside of.
Anything else? It's just that.
It's pretty much the only thing up here is the High Council.
Straight up. It's a straight up hallway and a double door.
Yeah, like a waiting hallway and then leading to a double doors. And there doesn't even seem to be any sort of workers or employees who man calling people in, just that they're above the door is a glowing number, and the number, for whatever reason, isn't anyone who's waiting's number.
Do we have time to go to be like, is this, do you think that like the transportation doors through here, or are we about to walk into a courtroom?
I mean, we've got one route. There's enemies behind us, and there's one route forward. I don't think that there's anything else to do. There's no left or right turn. There's no alcove.
No, nothing. Cool. It's like the only thing up here is them. Yeah.
Are all of the people looking forward, or are any of them looking at us?
No one seems to be looking at you, based on the actions of Iggy, who kind of walked in, sort of flashed the badge, and they all went back to minding their own business.
Okay. Reduce isn't going to make anyone small enough, and polymorph, which I've never used, I think I can only cast on myself. Yes. Or can I cast polymorph on other people? Transforms a creature I can see. Oh, someone I can see. So I could try to polymorph 2 people, but there's 3 of us, so.
Oh, I have the greater invisibility, if I've kept that. Can I cast that on me and someone else, is it?
You would have to cast it at a higher spell level than the spell, I believe. So in this moment, I'm going to say that you've in the panic lost a round of combat, and those guards are 1 round closer to you. They've used their movement, dash, and action up, and they are like, you can even see some of their heads just peeking over the stairs. You assume all they can see of you is your feet at the moment, but like it's act now or
what do you know. Will we just go through these doors?
Yeah, well, look, I'll try to remember that you have greater invisibility and try to polymorph myself and Wes. I don't know if I can dual cast it, but as far as I know, if I can cast it on one individual target, I can twin the spell and hold the concentration. So I should be able to cast it on myself and Wes.
Okay, we do that now, and then I'll cast invisibility.
And I'm going to try to turn us into like the small, like just mice.
Butterflies, maybe? Little flies?
Yeah, flies. I mean, something that can fly, something small that can fly. I don't know if you can do as far. Well, what I want to do is be able to get through the door. I'm hoping that there'll be a crack or a hole or.
Well, I'll be invisible, so I can.
Oh, you can open the door. Okay, yeah. So, listen, mice was my first thought. I don't have a lot of time. You can turn it open to mice.
Yeah, you twin a spell, and yourself and Arlington turn into tiny mice. Which all your gear melds into it, and you shrink down. And Iggy, at the same time, you just go invisible.
Oh, this is definitely the highest level spell I have, and I use Tides of Chaos. So, 1 second.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
No, that's fine. Although I use Tides of Chaos, so it's up to you. There's a much greater likelihood something will happen regardless of my roll.
So this is one of those ones where, at my discretion, wild magic can go off.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking will happen instead, if you give me this little bit of leniency, is that the moment you get inside this room and close the doors, the wild magic goes off.
Okay.
It's like a delayed reaction, essentially. As all these waiting elves just see the person who turned up just disappear, and 2 people just kind of, and it's in such a way that like. They don't notice the mice at first. Let me see what happens here. A few of them shriek and jump up on their chairs and go, ah, rodents! And at that, the guards come up and they're looking around frantically. They go, rodents. And some of them see the mice, but you do have a moment to burst through. Your plan was to burst through the door, right?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll run the center up, because if people see us, they might move out of the way, and that'll hopefully Iggy, who's invisible, can use the path that we lead of people being afraid of the mice to not bump into anyone.
Iggy will have, when I went invisible and they turned into mice, she, without thinking, just also went down and is running on the floor as if she's a mouse.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So she can follow us and then open the door. We can see what's going on.
So just right, I guess we're just gonna go and push that door open and see what's in there.
Yeah. The door blasts open, and you run in and you shut it behind yourselves. And what you see in front of you is a wide open central platform with 7 chairs laid out. And behind these 7 chairs, you see hanging from branches 7 paintings of what you assume to be the High Council. Each are all dressed in the same black robes, but they all seem to have a sort of trim of color, which denotes their station or their position on the council. You hear from outside the muffled voices of the guards. Well, we don't have a number, so we can't go, we have to wait for our number to go into the High Council. And they seem to be having this argument of whether it's appropriate or polite or the right etiquette to burst in on the High Council while not being summoned or kind of told, by the virtue of queuing. And like you hear some of the people say, hey, you can't go in there, we're queuing here. Hey, wait in line. And there seems to be that discussion happening where, Huck, I want you to roll a D100. Let's see what happens. Okay. And I'm going to pull up the quickest way I always find Huck's Wild Magic table is in our Discord. So let me see if I can find it.
D100 and a D10. It's these. That is a 49.
49. You feel as soon as you burst in here as a mouse, this sensation sort of drip into you. And I think you've gone fuzzy, so can you just put your hand to your camera?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have gone fuzzy. Yeah. Well, I'll just do this. Really close.
Yeah. You'll do mouse vision.
Yeah, Keelan, you're so small. You have to come closer to the screen.
Yeah. That's exactly what the
there we go.
There you go.
Nice.
You confused it when you polymorphed.
Yeah.
Where? 49. A fierce thirst is upon you. And you know instinctively this can only be quenched by like a cold ale after a long day's work. And until you get yourself a nice satisfying drink, you have disadvantage on all saving throws.
Oh, no. All right.
That 9 to 5, man. It's a grind. Yeah. So you've disadvantage on all saving throws until you get yourself a pint of the frostiest, coldest, deliciousest pint.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's a...
Do I have...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I have a tendency in other D&D games, and I didn't do it in this one, to make sure that my character has some kind of booze with which to ingratiate himself with people, but I didn't do it with this one. So I don't have any...
Kind of more childish, not like drinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a water skin.
Ben, in this chamber, what I want to be looking... I feel like coming to this chamber... it looking like it is that kind of scary. This doesn't look like the exact thing we're looking for. And so I'm maybe like kind of gone up to a wall, like kind of, oh shit. Because even though I'm invisible, it's hard to, I don't feel like I am. And I'm glancing around. Is there any kind of a back, I'm picturing where the judge would walk out from if they weren't, although maybe there isn't, but is there any side doors around behind these pictures or any kind of place to sneak to?
Exactly that. Like without even a perception check, you know that the structure of this building is one central trunk and these 7 branches stretching out. And you kind of stepped out into where one of these branches begins. And you can see behind each of these 7 chairs. I should mention, I didn't clarify, there's no one else in this room. Everyone was like, there's no High Council here. No one seems to be gathered. No one seems to be taking audiences. Those poor suckers are just waiting. Hey, that's life. Yeah, they're in some kind of Kafka-esque nightmare where they never get to see the people they're waiting for. They're advocates.
Can I break concentration and then we'll stop having been mice?
Yeah. Instantly, poof, you're back to your regular selves. And sorry, let me just find my little notes on this. Behind each of those pictures seems to be a doorway leading what you can only assume out to those 7 branches. But there is, opposite the stairwell or opposite the door you entered from, an 8th archway leading from this platform that you didn't see from on your way out. On your way up to there was 7 branches, but this seems to be an 8th door.
To the 8th door.
Yeah, let's go investigate that.
As you make your way through stealthily.
Can I listen through it a little bit? Maybe feel the outside just to see if I can hear anything happening on the other side of it.
Yeah, you listen in. Make a perception check.
Okay. It's a door. Okay.
While she's doing that, is there any way of barring the High Council doors from the inside?
That's a good point. Make a straight intelligence check, or if there's anything you can think of, just tell me that. Iggy, what was your result?
14.
14. You listen in, and as you look around the room, you can't hear anything, but you're looking at the paintings, and you know those weird paintings where it feels like they're following you?
Mm.
Yeah, you feel like one of the eyes in one of these paintings is following you, and the member of the High Council that's in it just steps out of the painting and into this sort of like oil painting version of themselves. And from that, they pull out one of their swords. And we'll stay in the same initiative as this kind of alarm system seems to be going off inside the High Council. Huck, while this is happening, what was your dice result?
Unfortunately, it was an 11. Oh, I have disadvantage.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just a check. It's not a saving throw.
Okay, well, it was 11, and then I re-rolled, got a 20, so it was an 11.
11's enough to just kind of, with the help of Arlington as well, move some of those chairs, those sort of wooden carved chairs that they seem to all sit on, and just kind of do the hole under that door handle. There's no door handle, but you just put the chairs there as a barricade. So you have managed to barricade the door.
Cool.
And from outside, you hear a knock. Could we come in? Well, it's locked. I don't think we can come in.
Can I use... do I have an action?
Yeah, why not?
Can I use minor illusion? Because I can create a sound with minor illusion. So yeah. I can pretend to be a council member, just a sound saying, no, wait, your turn in line, or something else like that. Absolutely not. Get in queue.
Yeah, you cast that off without a moment's hesitation, and they go, well, I guess we wait in queue. And they're a little bit dejected. But it seems like in front of you is this painting knight who has taken out a sword and are ready to fight. Top of the round. Sorry, let me roll them into initiative. Okay. That puts them there. Iggy, you are still first up. As someone who was perceiving and then seeing, and you watched this whole thing happen, and almost as if the paint stuck to them as they kind of left this painting. They're just sort of this oily, slick, like an incredible...
I'm picturing them, they're like the living paintings from that episode of Gilmore Girls, is what I'm hoping that looks like.
Yeah.
I'm still invisible, I think.
You are still invisible, yes.
So I'm hoping that I haven't been seen, but can I cast Phantasmal Force again or no?
You can, but I believe Greater Invisibility is a concentration spell.
Oh yes, it is. No, okay, so I'm okay. So where is the man, the painting person looking?
If the room is a clock and you're at 12 and you came in from 6, the painting person is at 9. So 3 or 9, either
looking
or.
Towards where?
Looking towards both Arlington and Huck at the door, so facing away from you.
Okay. Well, as that happens, I didn't hear anything through that door, right?
No, nothing.
Can I open that door and look through it?
Oh yeah. It's free action to just kind of peek in. Let me find. You peek inside the door and you see just this sort of very simple stone platform, and raised upon which seems to be sort of a wooden stage.
Okay. And is there anyone in there?
Nope, no one's in there.
Okay. Then I'll just go back in, and I'm not going to attack. I'm not going to do anything because I'm going to try and stay invisible. So I'm just going to try and stay close enough that I can maybe hopefully be a help next turn. I don't know.
With Greater Invisibility, because it's not invisibility, I believe you can attack and still keep your invisibility. That's the benefit of it.
Yeah, I think that's the question.
So as long as it's not a concentration spell, you could use like an attack spell or...
So say Dissonant Whispers, which I have.
Yes, that should work. Yeah.
Yes. There's
an invisible person.
So they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. Let me do that. So what is... we've used Dissonant Whispers a long, long time ago. Remind me what Iggy, when she casts the spell, what it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, what I want to happen in this is because what it is it's you whisper discord and melody that one creature can hear. What I'm hoping is that all the other paintings, the person is going to think that they're going to hear like as if nattering from all the paintings going like, that guy's so bad at his job. Ugh. Like just sinister office gossip that I'm just hoping it's going to shake his confidence and also deliver, some psychic damage.
Yeah, what's that? Imposter syndrome? Yeah. And for the first time in the history of a painting, you see that a painting gets this the weary sensation of other paintings watching their eyes move as they move. Now they know how that feels. And they failed. They failed their saving throw. So roll your damage.
Excellent. That's 3d6. Which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 psychic damage.
Nice.
Better.
So you do 9 psychic damage to them, and it does seem to kind of they start looking around, but then their focus just shifts back to Arlington and Huck. But you have done some damage. You still have your bonus action if you want to do anything with it.
Can I give some inspiration to Huck?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'll give you a d6 there.
Cool.
Huck, you're up next.
If we were in no, sorry, it's a d8 now, I'm pretty sure. So I have lovely red ones here, and I wish I could give it to you in person, but yeah.
Okay, so I roll a d8, and when I roll a thing, or...
you can just choose when you want to use it, right?
Yeah, it lasts for 10 minutes. Bardic Inspiration lasts for 10 minutes. You can use it on attacks, saving throws, ability checks, I believe. What you can't use it on is damage dice. There's certain bards that you can, but Iggy is a College of Lore bard, cool. So it's only kind of general checks.
Cool, well, I'm likely to have disadvantage to everything, so it's a good use, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. I dropped it through the couch. Yeah. 3. That wasn't great. Okay, well, any helps, good help. So there's an enemy in front of me. Does he look like he's a painting? Does he look like he's a person?
Yeah, and I should mention that one of the effects of Dissonant Whispers is that when they're racked with this psychic pain, they have to immediately use their reaction and move their full movement away from the source of it. So not only do you see this kind of painting knight wrapped in pain, and they do look like someone has stepped out and all that paint is stuck to them. But they immediately move in your direction. So they're not closing in, but they're not taking any sort of...
You did damage. So yeah. I mean, and I didn't see it. Okay, what is the most amount of damage I can do? That's always the question. That's always the question. See, I'm wondering... I'm going to try to cast Chromatic Orb.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can pick the thing. And because he looks like he's made out of paint, I'm going to try to make it acid. In hopes that a person made out of paint will be quite weak to acid. So I'm going to cast that. I'm going to cast it using a 3rd level slot. I think it's a 3rd level spell anyway, but ultimately that's 5d8 of damage. So I just have to...
Yeah, make an attack roll. Is it ranged?
It's ranged, yeah. So I have to roll for it, obviously. Yeah,
you would be at, unfortunately, with Chromatic Orb, and you can change what you want to do. You'd be at disadvantage because they've entered kind of melee stage with you.
Oh, you got that close. Yeah.
Yeah. They immediately had to use their reaction. Actually, sorry. You know what they would do, because they can do this? To get out of the way of harm and to Dissonant Whispers, this oil painting would have stepped back into its painting and stepped out another painting in the room to your right-hand side. So they're not within melee range, but they now are the furthest distance they can be from Iggy.
Okay.
So if they went in 9 o'clock, they stepped into 9 and they came out at 5.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. So
and you're at 6. Yeah.
Chromatic Orb. So I'll cast that. That's a 13.
13. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't use the +3. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine.
13 hits. Roll your damage. Yeah.
Cool. That's 5d8 because I'm using a level 3 slot, which is useful, but I don't actually have 5d8, so bear with me. That's 5 and 8 puts us on 13. A 5, that puts us on 18. So 2 more. A 5. I promise these are all actually happening.
No.
18, 23. So 1 more roll, right? An 8. 31, right?
Wow. Yeah. 31 points of damage. And you feel like it really hurt. Like in one kind of splash of acid, like the oil starts kind of bubbling and kind of sissing and hissing. There's going to be like, someone's going to have to do a restoration job on this. And boy, do they match the same style of the other paintings, you hope, or else that person's losing their jobs. But it stumbles back and it's, and it's weird hearing a painting try gasp for life. But it is quite a unique noise.
Cool. Yeah. If I still have a movement, I'm gonna move as much as I can towards the door that Iggy opened, the center 8th door.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Okay. And then I think that's me. I don't think everything else I can do. So.
Yeah. It is the.
Sorry. I did Tides of Chaos, and that's a kind of just a running thing, and then I cast this as level 3. So.
Yeah. No, I think we're good. I think while one wild magic effect is currently on you, we might, let's not.
Sorry, a wild magic thing I think resets it.
Resets it, right? Yeah. So you've done it. Yeah. I was there being like, that's too crazy. No, as soon as I called on that, it reset it back to normal.
Yeah.
It is its turn, and as the only option available to us, it goes to hit Arlington. It seems to swing, and if I remember his AC correctly, swing and a miss. And let's see. Well, I'm not going to do that. Arlington's not here. It does have a kind of painting charm ability to sort of enrapture it, but it'll be just very strange. So let's say for the point of the gods very much being on your side, I've been keeping track of your rolls and they're high. So over the course of the session, luck is in your favor. It goes for another attack and again misses. So this painting kind of roiling and bubbling and you can hear it kind of catch in its throat, tries to swing at Arlington. Arlington attacks back. Hey, Mr. Man. And he's not here, so fuck him. He misses like a doofus. But he does run towards the teleportation circle. The room. The same way you guys went. This is the nice thing about as it gets later in the session, and I forget that I'm not your friend, but your DM. So it runs towards it. This creature's still alive. It rolls back around to your turn, Iggy. But it seems to be very much on its last legs. But you do notice that there is some movement happening in the paintings around it. That it was maybe the first of a few that might step out.
Oh god. I'm going to cast Thunder Wave.
Cool.
Towards it, because the guys are kind of to the side, right? Because I never want to.
Yeah, they moved out of your. It's a cone, right? So, or it's sort
so
of
I'm
an
probably
area.
just going to cast that. Oh, no,
Yeah.
wait.
This is new. Have you ever cast this before?
2 damage. That just gets him. Oh no, it does do damage. Sorry, 2d8. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to cast that, and that's no concentration, so I'm still invisible there. Okay.
Does it need to do a saving throw, or do you roll to attack?
Sorry. A Constitution saving throw, please.
Constitution saving throw. Let me see what they have here. Excuse me. I was just looking at this a second ago. It's funny, the amount you look at like stat blocks as a DM, and yet you always lose the exact thing you're looking for. DM problems, am I right? Let me roll the dice, because I should just roll it. 13.
I've never cast Thunderwave before. I'm pretty sure I've had it the whole time, but I always keep being like, no, but someone's too close to him.
I thought this was a new spell. I was like, what's going on?
No, I've actually had this from the very beginning, I think. I think it's really early.
It fails again. It's funny. It has some sort of proficiencies in saving throws from what I can see, and also advantage on all spell saving throws. But it rolled a 13 and a 10, and its constitution is a 0 because it's a painting. So it fails. You do full damage and full effects of your spell. It's a good boom.
Most battles, everyone always passes the saving throws, so I'm like, oh, that didn't work. Okay. Yeah. Well, so what I would like this thunder wave to look like, I don't know if I can do it, but I wanted to maybe if I can angle it so that just to feed into like this how he's feeling embarrassed by his peers, so that maybe it's like one of the paintings that is closest to me is like farted in his direction and pushed him to the outside of the room.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It farts out some of that kind of reset paint. You know, when you fucked up a painting, you're like, all right, fresh canvas. Let's just give it a whole whitewash. Farts out some white paint to kind of whitewash them out. Roll your damage.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And actually roll. I think I need to make saving throws for the paintings around it, which both fail because it's like a 15-foot space. Let me look that up for you while you roll your damage. Thunderwave.
Oh, it's only 5. 2d8 and it's 5 damage. Fuck's sake.
That's right. I didn't.
Yeah, sorry, it's a 15-foot cube, not a cone, I think.
Right. Yeah. So it's just kind of boom.
They'll say it right in front of me here.
It's all right. We also have the internet. Is it? Yeah, 2d8 thunder damage. But it's also knocked back.
Yeah.
Right.
Unsecured objects that are completely within the effect are pushed 10 feet away.
A combination of the psychological onslaught that you've done, plus it's slamming against the wall, does enough extra damage to kind of crumple this painting down. And the other paintings, as they step out, get pushed back into their paintings.
One thing I am seeing here is that the spell emits a thunderous boom audible up out to 300 feet. So this may speed up the process of the guards, but the rest of my go, I'm trying to run to this transportation chamber.
Yeah, I believe I described this building as 100 feet above the treetops of Draíocht. I'm thinking that was a big distance. So 300 feet. So the whole city of Draíocht here in the distance. We pull away from this kind of rapid escape and just like someone's just kind of having a little ale and just go boom.
All just to knock over a painting that was already on its last legs.
Yeah.
With the phantasmal image of a fart coming from a painting.
Yeah.
That's what I think of your art. You still have your movement, your bonus action. What would you like to do?
I'm just going to be running into the chamber, right?
Yeah, you peg it in.
Trying to converse with the guys, going like, "Where's the key? Get the key!"
Yeah, that was going to be what I thought we'd probably talk about this next round. Whoever has the key needs to get ready with the key, and then we have to hope that we can find an easy place to put it in.
Yeah. Yeah, Huck, let's say for practicality's sake, you have it. You know you have it. So it is your turn as well. You're next in the round order. So, cool. The world is your oyster.
I look back. The painting's been destroyed. That's great. I try to give a thumbs up to where I think Iggy is, because she's still invisible. But continue to run. And then I don't know why I feel like the key is on a lanyard around my chest, around my neck, but I've imagined that, so that's what I'm going with. I'm taking it out.
Huck does strike me as someone who's mad into crystals, so you might as well put a crystal shard on a necklace around your neck. Yeah.
Because you can never have too many lanyards.
Right beside your shark tooth necklace.
Yeah.
They're cool lad things.
And my Blarney stone.
Dog tags.
Yeah, so I don't know how much movement I can get towards where I'm going. There's a stairs, you said, and then a platform?
So yeah, let me describe this room to you in the kind of haze. So I'll leave out any details that I think you wouldn't take in straight away because it's you're in the heat of battle. It seems like it's not a big room, maybe 20 feet in width and length. And in the center of it is this simple raised stone platform, and on top of which is a wooden stage. And you do see there's some sort of console or key map area to the side. And that's from a glance, that's what you're getting. You're like, well, here's clearly a sort of teleportation circle. I don't think any of you have seen one before now, but and the words were kind of meaningless, hence why you were there being like teleportation formula. But when you see it, you're like, oh, it's a circle of which people teleport from. Yeah, of course.
I mean, the Fianna have them. So would I have ever encountered it as a Fianna?
Yes. Yeah, the one you would have come across, although you've never been allowed to use it, you have seen it being used. A bit more run of the mill. Occasionally, what you would have seen this as is that whoever the arcane specialist in the Fianna or the most powerful wizard or sorcerer usually uses chalk to kind of draw out the symbols to do it. You've never seen a sort of custom built platform for this. Cool. And even the ones you have are not in any way as fancy as this one is. Like, you don't have a console. It's just sort of like a space.
Yeah. Jay-Z's are fancy buggers.
You know how to use this right now that we're here.
It's a console. There's a key. It's magic. I'm sure it'll work. Can I look for an input that looks like it would fit the key? I mean, I'll be how much movement I can get to the console and then do this with an initiative.
Yeah, you can definitely do that and make an investigation check. And I'll say while that's happening, what Arlington is doing is Arlington has managed to kind of dodge a couple of blows outside the door, pull the door shut, and is just trying to hold them tight to keep people out. He's doing a reverse Spider-Man with the train. Instead of his arms being outstretched, they're real tight.
So, is this the kind of roll that I have a disadvantage on?
No, it's just a check, so it's not a saving throw. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I really felt like I had disadvantage on everything, but it's not that bad.
Just saving throws, yeah.
Can I use the +3? That'll make it a 17. The +3 that I got from the inspiration.
You rush over and you see on the edge of the circle where the console is, there is a map of Hibernia. And you can see that there is the outline of locations of other teleportation circles. You've seen a similar map in your time because the Fianna tend to have one for where they are. And each one has etched in the particular twisting, sort of spiraling, knotting patterns that depict like a phone number that we have. It's a unique symbol that directs us to us. This is a unique twisting of sort of old Irish mythological knots.
Like a chevron Stargate.
Yeah, in a way. And you see that each location has a small empty socket beside it. Looking at the circle itself, you notice that the floor is completely wooden and all the planks are marked and inscribed. It looks like they're kind of grooved in. And there seems to be these sort of twisting circles as if all of them can kind of interlock and change into the exact pattern you need it to be when you put the key in. So instead of having to draw it out with chalk, these will just turn and twist into the exact spirals.
Cool. We're trying to go to Sleeve Gem, so do I know where the closest to Sleeve Gem would be? Do I know where Sleeve Gem is?
Yeah, I have a map, so I was thinking I could have pulled out this map and I would have circled before that we had, like, this is where we were going to go.
Yeah, give us the map there. I need to,
Which you can see on your screen. And so it's, yes, I'm going to point. Clockwork Tangerine, Sleeve Gem.
Okay. Closest teleportation circle to that. No time to think about it.
Yeah, there's one right there. You insert the shard. You feel like there's a twisting mechanism, so you click it into place, and you feel all around you this room buzz with activity as these kind of grooves.
Can I try and scramble on top of this platform?
Yeah, you know, you would know not to stand in the circle instead. So you do scramble into where as the edge of the circle starts to glow and these twisting floorboards kind of turn into place like a combination lock, getting into the exact combination of twists and turns and knots and letters that's needed to get to Sleeve Gem.
Cool.
Huck, make a quick dexterity. Make a sleight of hand check or a dexterity check. I don't know if you're proficient in sleight of hand.
I don't know if I'm proficient, but I'm decent. I can do it.
Yeah.
All right. That is 12, unfortunately. No, 14. 14.
Oh, 14. What this is essentially to give you insight is you need to book it towards the platform to be within the small moment of time in which this teleportation circle will burst off and transport you to Sleeve Gem. Yeah. And in a moment's panic, you know that you can take this shard out of the console with you. But as you take it out and it sort of kind of fumbles around, there's a moment of, if I try grab this, I might miss the circle. And Arlington books it towards the circle, and Iggy's already in there.
Cool. Because I was trying to think, could we do anything? Could we make the key invisible? Like trying to think of how to hide where we went. So I was thinking about that, but I don't know if that's something you can help to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, let me in this moment where time freezes and this shard comes out, but you in your panic sort of try to do quite a like nice catch and run. It fumbles a little bit, and Iggy, you see this. The shard is doing like a hot potato with Huck. Huck's trying to leap over onto the teleportation circle. Arlington's there being like, "Come on," which when slowed down to as much as it is, it's like, "Oh, boy," and like it's a lovely Hans Zimmer sort of soundtrack to it. You you can leave the key and you'll make the circle. You can attempt the key and maybe miss the circle.
Well,
or there's plan C, which is your plan, whatever that is.
but it has the key has come out of where we put it.
Yes.
So
yeah, let's say I pulled it out and then I was fumbling and I've knocked it.
I'm fine with him trying to grab it, and I won't interfere with that. But what I was wanting to do was not to let them know where we went, which I don't know if it'll still be clear to them. But so I'm not trying to catch it as well. I'm staying in the thing. But okay.
It's hard to know if it would be clear, but you know that the key isn't in the keyhole anymore. So at the very least, there's not a direct, obvious, that's where they went. Cool. So as each line sort of flat on the ground sort of grows and the arcane blue sort of boom sort of interchecks. Keelan, unless you've a player idea, which totally overrules my one.
Well, I was just checking. So I used the Tides of Chaos already, so I don't think I have, and I've bent luck already, and I would have had to do a lot of that stuff beforehand. And I've done everything. I've really used all of my last minute things to get us here, so I can't do this.
Oh, you have inspiration, right?
What?
I've used it, I think.
Oh, you did? Damn it.
Oh yeah, I used your inspiration on making sure I knew where the key should go, which is important.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah. I think at this moment in time, your luck has run out, so to speak. And as you all step into this teleportation circle and boom, all find yourselves just disappearing. From behind, not that you would see this because you're gone, but the audience would see the guards bursting in through the chairs, running towards the teleportation circle, and then just this kind of little crystal shard just ding, 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 just on the floor, and you are gone. You've made your way out. I could describe where you've landed, but I think we should leave that for next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will be back in about 2 weeks' time for this show. But as a little kind of scheduling announcement, I guess, in 2 weeks' time, it's like December 8th. Then we're straight into silly season. We're into Christmas. If you're celebrating Christmas, we're into Griftmas. If you're a con man, we're into Shiftmas. If you're home for the holidays and trying to get the shift, we're into any sort of holiday festive thing. So the 22nd of December, we're not going to stream. It's also my birthday, so I probably won't. But then the next one is also January 5th, which is just a little bit close to New Year's for us. So we're thinking we might change our minds. So keep our eye on our socials. That we will skip the 22nd and the 25th. After next episode. You don't need to worry about it. I'll reiterate all of this next episode, but it's a forewarning, especially because it's the end of the show. We might be taking a little bit of hiatus over Christmas so we can spend time with our families, if we can meet our families, which is also the craziness of the world that's going on at the moment. So we can relax, essentially. The podcast will still be coming out. So if you want to keep your homebrew adventures going, check out the podcast. If you want to catch up on, we're suddenly tying back to things that were happening back in episode 10, 15.
I think we're going to arrive in Draíocht now, but we're just at the part where we really nearly, it's dangerous with pirates. It's a good bit at the moment.
So you can jump in there, or you can use this opportunity to just fucking harangue your friends into listening, because they'll be a little bit more caught up, because we're giving the podcast a little opportunity to catch up as well. But we will be back in 2 weeks. That's the plan. It's just a little bit of heads up. In these uncertain times, we like to give you a little bit of certainty. So we will be taking kind of the extended Christmas break. Podcast will still be coming out, but I think that's it. I think we're done. If you've enjoyed this show, we do have a coffee. We do have a way for you to contribute. We don't take any of that. We kind of do this every 2 weeks in our spare time as a little project, as a chance to hang out with friends and play some D&D, and for you guys to get to come along on that adventure. So our donations go to MASI, the Movement of Asylum Seekers in Ireland. It's a hugely important mission to end direct provision. If you don't know what direct provision is, simple Google search will tell you the horrors of that system. But that's what we're trying to end as the little bits we can do. But until then, look after yourselves. Be sound to one another, especially as Christmas rolls around. It's like time for soundness. But also, people can be mean at Christmas, so like really look after yourselves. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time where we get to a new city. It's been ages. It's been so long since we've been to a new place. I need to think of things that aren't boring elves. I need to figure out the dwarves, what dwarves look like in this world. This is the first time I and you will find out what dwarves are like in Hibernia. So I'm looking forward to it. So good night. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and joy be with you all.